The racing capital of the world becomes a trucker's paradise. Over 2,500 4x4s converge on Indianapolis for a weekend of four-wheel drive fun. And crashing the party will be the monster truck as they try to turn Gasoline Alley into a den of destruction. Coming up next. This is Trucks and Tractor Power, featuring the superstars of the four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Nationals Monster Truck Challenge. Welcome to Trucks and Tractor Power on the Nashville Network. Today we're at the Indiana State Fairgrounds in Indianapolis for the 10th annual four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Fall Nationals. Hi everybody, I'm Gary Lee alongside Army Armstrong. And Army, this is the 10th anniversary of Bigfoot. And here in the Bigfoot Corral, it's like a history of monster truck competition, an evolution, if you will, of the monster truck.
The trick word is evolution. Behind us you see the biggest, the tallest, the wildest monster truck there ever was in the days gone by. The 10 years since it started, they've decided to build them light and wind them tight. It's gone to full boogaloo, if you will, double throwdown racing. 70-mile-an-hour behemoths jumping 30 and 40 feet in the air. The truck behind us on the front says, "I love St. Louis." I hope Bob Chandler and his crew will not be singing the blues when they leave Indianapolis.
Side-by-side monster truck competition from Indianapolis coming up next. There's a look at the infield track here at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. Actually, we're north and west of the famed Brickyard, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but the fairgrounds also noted for some fine motorsports as we take a look at the bare necessities. Nick Rossi in the Outlaw, and this is what a monster truck looks like without the outside skin.
What's happened here, Gary? Rossi was ready to run today. They found a problem. The problem was a result of this run during the qualifying session. I want you to notice what happens. Watch the left front spindle, digs in, flips, completely demolishes the body. Now, the crew worked feverishly to get the vehicle back together. One of the tech crews found a bolt missing in the seat belt. They made Rossi go back. He's going to try to get back in the program this afternoon, but he'll come back at the bottom of the field.
The roll cage protects the driver. The driver from New Jersey climbs out, walks away. He is okay, and he'll be back in competition here at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. Incidentally, the run where he crashed was the fast qualifying time for the Outlaw. That bracket will go to the bottom, though, of the pairings. And then it's number 5 Taurus against number 11 Bigfoot. We also have Gary Porter's Carolina Crusher, number 3 against the Micro Machine. And King Krunch, Scott Stevens, taking on the Wild Thing. Also in round 1 competition, we have Snakebite, the 6th fastest qualifier, against Tropical Thunder, and Nitemare matches up against John Moore's Bronco. No problem. So once again, here's a look at Andy Brass in Bigfoot 8, the tube-frame truck out of St. Louis, Missouri. And there is Eldon Depew, Granite City, Illinois. They're neighbors, and that is the Taurus truck owned by the Willman family. Eldon is Jack Willman Sr.'s nephew.
Yeah, you got to remember, though, so were the Hatfield and McCoys. They were neighbors, and they didn't get along very good. I think you can say the same thing here. Andy Brass comes out showing no mercy on his rookie driver.
And Brass takes the victory as Taurus noses over at the finish line.
We talk about Taurus having that snoopy nose. I guarantee you Depew got a real good look at that grass on the far end of the track.
Well, once again, the whole shot can be so important in this type of competition. And right there in no man's land, it's all Andy Brass.
Gary, I tell you what, this Depew kid is not afraid to drive that monster truck. He's going to be another attack driver.
Well, Bigfoot wins, but there may be a problem with the truck.
Well, Gary, we're standing on the starting line of the track with Bigfoot driver Andy Brass, but your whole crew's on the other end of the track trying to find something. What'd you lose?
Well, our steering went bad on us. We taken down the other lane there, and we're just kind of watching it. And I think the power steering went away, so we're looking for the shaft, the intermediate shaft that drives the pump right now.
Okay, I look over the cameraman's shoulder. They just found that piece. We'll let you get back to the truck.
All right, thank you, Army.
So the crew and Andy are eager to get back and go to work on Bigfoot for round 2 competition as we take a look at Bob Breen in the Micro Machine, part of the Breen Brothers Racing Machines. He'll go up against the Big A Auto Parts Carolina Crusher with Gary Porter.
Gary Porter runs a unique setup in the transmission. It's basically a stock GMC type transmission. It's been modified, but they run what they call a trans brake. It's been very successful in drag racing. The only difference in this sport and drag racing, these rascals weigh around 12,000 pounds. The drag cars that run them, they come across the scales at about 2,000 pounds. Wow, does it work, Gary? Look at that.
Well, Gary Porter gets the whole shot, applies the horsepower, and takes the victory. Gary Porter has always excelled on the outdoor long tracks. Gary Porter, by his own admission, will have trouble competing indoors, but he likes these high horsepower tracks.
And I don't blame you. It's just kind of his thing. You got short track specialists, long track specialists, and other forms of racing. He just doesn't like running in another man's wall, and I don't blame him a bit.
A wild paint job on Wild Thing. Jim Booker behind the steering wheel from St. James, Missouri, and Scott Stevens in the blue and yellow auto value King Krunch Chevrolet.
Well, Gary, you got both ends of the spectrum. To the left, the old veteran, the wily veteran, been around a long time. On the right, closer to the camera now, the new kid on the block. Hey, first half of the race, he's running him tough. Check this out.
Well, I think there's a mechanical problem over there in King Krunch as Wild Thing takes the victory. Jim Booker will advance to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, but Gary, you've played the racing game long enough to know you take this win like you would any other win. Booker, in his freshman year, that has got to be one of the biggest wins he's had, Gary.
Let's talk to Jim Booker, Army.
Okay, what about now? Normally, you don't get a chance to run with these guys each and every week. You feel like you can step up and run with these guys on a regular basis?
If I can keep my motor lined out, I think we can do real good with them. But we've had a bad time with our motor this weekend. We really got lined out this morning, so I think we'll do some good today.
Oh, good luck to you. You just put one of the bad boys on the trailer. We'll see you in that next round.
I sure would like that. Thank you.
And here is a look at the big, bad Colt Cobra in snake bite.
Cobra is going to have to go up against this kid out of South Florida. Now, the book on Wayne, ex-drag racer, getting over to monster trucks, he can be a player, but he runs the older style chassis. Okay, we talk about the high-tech chassis. We've got the older chassis. Snake Bite's one, Tropical Thunder's the other. Gary, let's just see who's going to win this.
Well, perhaps you've heard it before in motorsports. A good driver can't always carry a bad racing vehicle. It takes almost a new truck to be competitive here. And on this run, it's the Snake Bite.
That truck gets quicker and quicker and quicker each time out, Gary Lee.
Let's take a look again as Snake Bite gets the whole shot. He has the advantage right here through no man's land by a few feet. And there is the margin of victory for Colt Cobra. And always making a fashion statement, here's Colt.
Okay, Colt Cobra, you've been saying it's easy pickings out here today. You're going to the next round, but it's not going to be any easier at all.
No, it's not, Army. I tell you what, I started out this thing, didn't have no friends. I don't want no friends now. I'm only out here for one thing, that's win. I tried my heart out last night to try to put in a top spot in this qualification. Everybody's been putting me down. I'm here to stay. I'm going to be back next round, and I'm going to advance one more round after that.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see. Let's go on with some more action, Gary.
Army, he sounds a bit vindictive. We'll see what he can do in the next round as we take a look at Steve Hess out of Columbia City, Indiana. He has some home state fans here. He goes up against the Tennessean, John Moore, in the Bronco. No problem.
You talk about the guy being vindictive. I'll just be very honest with you. He's mad at these guys and doesn't like any of them. Back to the starting line, GMC close, Ford on the far side. Both of them short wheelbases, both of them early chassis designs.
And right there, it's Nitemare.
Showtime.
And the difference was how the Bronco jumped and bucked in no man's land. That was the difference on this run, and that gave the victory by only a few inches to Nitemare.
Exactly. You've got to get the truck down on the ground. See how the far truck is bouncing? Now, Nitemare has got all four paws digging, and that puts him on the other end.
Steve Hess has the helmet off, and he's with Army Armstrong.
Gary, we're standing with Steve Hess, the driver of the PENDA liner GMC. And Steve, you went in the left lane. We thought that was a smooth lane. Boy, you took a rough ride on the end of this track.
We did. I didn't catch it just quite right on that first set of cars. Maybe it just wasn't quite enough in the power, but you know, we run the fast time last night, and we came back today, and I think it's just a little bit slow off the line. I didn't catch the light quite right.
Next matchup as we take a look at Kirk Dabney in Giant, and he will face off with the fast qualifier. There is Nick Rossi without the skin on his monster truck, the Outlaw. Once again, Nick was the fast qualifier. At the end of that run, he took the nasty ride, tore the vehicle up. The crew has it back together, and he now is ready to go up against the Giant.
You know, I don't think the body being gone is in his mind at all. He is just as intense now as if he were sitting in a corner somewhere. He's got one job to do. That's to get that truck to the other end quicker than the other truck.
And it looks like he's going to do it. Not pretty.
Yeah, but it's a pay window. They don't ask you if it's pretty. They just want to know if you're going to the next round.
There's no title for miscongeniality in monster truck racing.
You know, this is a good shot. The camera crew's showing you exactly what the chassis look like on these vehicles. We've been talking about chassis for a long time. The older style truck there, Rossi kind of a mid-style truck, but there's a lot of work there, Gary.
And Nick Rossi takes the victory without the body. He's down there now with Army.
Well, Nick, when this thing first started, you were prepared to go in the first round. There was a technical problem. The officials let you go back, get the truck up to snuff, and you're going into the next round. Kind of a good break that way, but a bad break to get you here. What happened to the truck?
We qualified last night. We were the fastest qualifier. I caught a hole in the end of the cars. The motor died, and I flipped it over, end over.
Okay, you're okay, and you're having fun.
I'm fine. The truck's hurt pretty bad. We're done now. We just broke the oil pan, so we can't even come back.
So you are out for the day?
Yeah, we're out.
I'll tell you what, you made a lot of fans here in Indy. Maybe we'll see you another time, another day.
Thank you.
Hard work after the wreck, and now a tough break as he'll not be able to continue. There's a look at Bigfoot 5, the biggest of them all. We're at the Indiana State Fairgrounds in Indianapolis. Stay with us. We're coming right back. Gary Lee and Army Armstrong back home again in Indiana at the Indiana State Fairgrounds for the four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Fall Nationals, part of the 2,500 four-wheel vehicles on display here. As we take a look at the round two pairings, now Taurus, as the fast loser, replaces the Outlaw since he broke. So Eldon Depew will go up against Bigfoot, and then we'll have the Carolina Crusher against Wild Thing. Well, this is round two action with the winners going on to the semifinals. Snakebite will also be matched up against Steve Hess in Nitemare. And there is a look at Andy Brass, Bigfoot 8. Of course, he is based in St. Louis, Missouri, only about a 4 or 5 hour drive from here in Indianapolis. And he'll go up against Eldon Depew of Granite City, Illinois in Taurus.
Jack Wellman, the owner of this truck, told Eldon, just go drive your race, get time in the seat. These trucks ran against each other in the first round. The brake rule brings Taurus back in this thing. I wonder what's going through his mind right now. I don't think he's going to let Andy intimidate him at all. Oh, boy.
Andy got the whole shot. Oh,
Whoa.
look how close it was, though. Andy had the whole shot, but Eldon stuck his foot through the floorboard and almost caught him. Andy may have won it, though.
That was amazing. This kid, you can see him on every run developing a car. He's left at the light. Okay, now from here on out, it's got to be horsepower. The truck settles, all four wheels bite. He launches it. I bet this kid for a hobby likes to tap dance in a minefield. That's the kind of mindset he has.
All right, who won it?
I don't know. We're still waiting.
That was a photo finish. I'm not sure that...
They're going into technical trailer to take it out, Gary.
Well, we rely on the videotape, but they'll be looking at what we just saw, and we can't tell. There's Andy Brass. Looking again.
One up, one down. Like two fighter pilots. One's trying to go up, the other one's trying to go down. Look at that. Nose up, nose down.
Well, the officials are now saying that it was Bigfoot that won by, what, the right front tire, perhaps?
They may say that, but that's not what I see. But what I see doesn't count, I guess.
So Andy Brass wins it, but I think we'll see this young man back in competition because the fast loser of this round will return. Let's talk to Andy Brass.
Andy, the word we're getting, the wind came in about 1 inch long.
That is, it was a close one. I went in the trailer because we have had several close calls out here, and I'm thinking sometimes we're getting a short end of the stick, so I want to make sure I went in and watched the video. Jack's going in now to watch it. From I watched, I think if we'd shaved the tires much more, we would have lost.
See you in the next round.
All right, thank you.
That's what the fans pay to see. Almost photo finish. It took about 3 or 4 replays to determine that Andy Brass won it. Jim Booker coming up next in Wild Thing. And there's a look at the Carolina Crusher, sponsored by Big A Auto Parts. Gary Porter in the cockpit.
Well, the driver of the Wild Thing, like we told you earlier, this is his first year. He passed Scott Stevens in the first round. He got past a toughie there, but he got another toughie to go after now. And you know Gary Porter going to thump him if he gets a chance. Right there, he did. Big time.
Well, it was no contest. I think there was a mechanical problem there with Wild Thing. Gary Porter, though, keeps the foot in it, completes the run, and he will advance to the semifinals in the Carolina Crusher. And Booker is taking a sightseeing tour off the racetrack right now.
Back home again in Indiana. Booker got to see a lot of real estate right there, didn't he?
And
Look
he
at
was
Porter
going
on the
slow
right
enough
now.
to enjoy it.
See, Gary, you brought out an interesting point. He is constantly tweaking this truck. Even though he had what would consider an easy run, he still drove it hard to learn something.
Drive the racetrack. You're competing against the track and not the other drivers. And that's exactly what Gary Porter was doing. He was going after, I got paid
to do the wild thing.
That's what Gary Porter was here to do, though, attack the racetrack. He did. Here's a look at Steve Hess from Columbia City, Indiana. He drives a truck called Nitemare. And Steve will go up against Snakebite. There he is from Cobra Creek, Colorado, Colt Cobra.
Interesting thing that we're looking at right now. This is the last race for the Nitemare truck. They're going to rebuild the truck. And he is going to go out fighting. Look at that.
Well, wait a minute. He just
lost
the drive shaft.
And this is the last week for the truck. He would love nothing better than to take the PENDA line of people into the winner's circle. But if he does, he's going right back to his trailer right now. That's an indication that he's going to try to get it fixed before the next round.
Well, he's not sure at this point in the cockpit how much damage there is under the truck.
See, they've got communications with people sitting on the side of the track. So I imagine the crew members told him you've got breakage in the rear suspension. But you can't take it away from him. He earned it.
The last run for Nitemare, they'd like to make it victorious. They'll go back and work on that as he knocks out the Snakebite and Colt Cobra. We talked about a vindictive Colt Cobra. Look at him pacing back and forth there, stalking the prey. Here's Steve Hess.
Well, Gary, Steve Hess is trying to take this girl out in a blaze of glory. This is the last time this truck is going to be running. You're just tickled to death with it, it seems like.
I am. This truck has been a great truck. We've had it 3 years. We've always done real well here, and we're as far as we've ever been in the series in the brackets today. The truck's running well. We broke a Heim joint, but the crew's back there working on it. We've got a tremendous crew and our sponsors, and everything's going real good.
Well, now as we take a look at the semifinals, we'll have Bigfoot against the Carolina Crusher. There is Taurus, the fast loser. So Eldon Depew is still in competition. He'll be matched up with Steve Hess in Nitemare as they work on that pickup. And there is Bigfoot, Andy Brass out of St. Louis, Missouri, the Bigfoot 8 two-frame monster truck, and he goes up against a guy who loves the outside racetracks, Gary Porter, in the Big A Auto Parts Carolina Crusher. Ford against Chevrolet.
Boy, it's your classic battle, but right now it is a toss-up. They've both been here before. Brass leaves on Porter. Look at the truck settle at mid-range. The chassis, if there's such thing as a perfect chassis setting right now, it's with that truck. Whoa, the steering went away on it. Brass very wisely tags the brake to pull it around. But remember, in the first round, he lost the steering. I believe it happened to him again. He's driving right now with no steering, Gary Lee, none whatsoever.
And here's where he locks the brakes up and slides to a stop.
See, the wheels stay straight in the front. He did not turn those wheels. That's spooky.
And here is a look at Steve Hess in Nitemare, the final afternoon of competition for this pickup. And there is Eldon Depew in Taurus. What an afternoon he has had. The fast loser from our preceding round, so he is still in competition.
Like a bad dream, this Taurus truck just keeps coming back and coming back.
And he's going to win this one.
Yeah.
Like a cat with 9 lives, this truck has lost twice today already, but on the brake rule and on the fast loser rule, he's come back twice, and now he's won.
That's exactly right, Gary, but there's only one winner at the end of the day, and you only got to win one race, and he's going to be in that race. Could the third time be charmed?
At the opening of the show, we said this was the 10th anniversary of Bigfoot. It's going to be Bigfoot and Taurus for the championship. From the Indiana State Fairgrounds, just a reminder, these jamborees are more than just great monster truck racing. And to find out more about these special trucking events, call or write the Special Events Company here in Indianapolis. The finals, Bigfoot and Taurus.
We've been here twice already. The big difference is, I'll guarantee, if Taurus can leave with Bigfoot, he can beat him on the other end. That's going to be the trick. If that kid can stay cool and come out of the gate with Brass, he did it. He did it.
He wins it. He has it by a fender. Army, you called it. You're absolutely right on. He stayed with him. Brass may have had a slight hole shot right there, but otherwise the kid, Eldon Depew, stays with Andy Brass, and Taurus, the Chevrolet, knocks off the Ford Bigfoot.
Boy, that is amazing. The replay shows one goes over nose up, the other one goes over nose down. both times.
And the youngster from Granite City, Illinois, not far from St. Louis, takes the victory. He's the winner here at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. Let's talk to Eldon Depew, the champion this afternoon.
Eldon, third time was charmed for you, but really, I got to give you a lot of credit. To be a new driver, you're awfully good at this.
You know, I've been around them since they started. You know, Jack's been doing this for 12 years, and I've been right there with them. And, you know, I learned from the best, Jack Willman, and that's where I give all the credit to.
I'll tell you what, he's got an awful lot to be proud of. You got a lot of credit coming your way, too. Congratulations to you.
Well, thank you, Army.
And that will wrap it up from the Indiana State Fairgrounds here in Indianapolis. Our congratulations to Eldon Depew. The fans show their appreciation. For Army Armstrong, I'm Gary Lee. Join us next week on Trucks and Tractor Power. Now, here's news about an exciting new home video from Diamond P Sports.
All right.
It's time once again to do that death-defying dance step called Shake, Battle, and Roll. Call this number for Shake, Battle, and Roll 2. A 70-minute thrill ride featuring the movers and shakers of tractor pulling. Nitrous-powered mud warriors in breathtaking action. And roll with the punches as monster trucks duke it out in a sea of scrap iron. Shake, Battle, and Roll 2, the ultimate test of speed and strength from the worlds of monster truck racing, mud bogging, and truck and tractor pulling. 1-800-538-8900 is the number to call for this offer only, or send check or money order plus shipping and handling to this address. Visa and MasterCard accepted. No CODs. Call now, 1-800-538-8900.